This is the 6th gen Honda CR-V, for the first time in Europe also available as a PHEV. Is this the ideal family SUV? Let's find out. The Honda CR-V is one of the OG compact crossovers. In production since 1995, the CR-V debuted just a year after the RAV4. Interestingly, the Kia Sportage debuted in Asia even earlier, in 1993, but we didn't see it in Europe until 1995. For nearly 30 years, the CR-V, like its competitors, became less and less off-roady and more urban. And no wonder, since customers need cars to drive their kids to school, not on trips into the wilderness. Having said that, the school parking lot can get pretty wild at 5 to 8 a.m. What has changed? The biggest difference is at the front. In the previous two generations, I used to joke that the CR-V looked like it had a bonnet from a Civic that was too short and someone tried to stretch it onto a larger car. In the 6th generation, there is a wide radiator grille and the bonnet looks like it was designed for this particular vehicle. This is supposed to be an unambiguous family SUV. From the side and the rear, no major changes. From the very beginning, the CR-V's tail lamps went up the D-pillars. Over time, their lower part began to overlap the tailgate and the sides. This is also the case here. I found one change at the rear. In the 5th generation, hybrid Honda got rid of the exhaust tips from the bumper, but left the tailpipe visible from under the car. Now there are two exhaust tips, the one on the left is fake and the one on the right is real. The 6th gen CR-V got bigger. It's more than 10 centimeters longer and is now more than 470 centimeters long. It's also about a centimeter wider and 15 millimeters lower. The wheelbase is almost 4 centimeters longer at just over 270 centimeters. With expansion like this, it would make a good 7-seater, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, in Europe, at least for now, the third row of seats is not an option. At 635 liters, the boot is more than 100 liters larger than in the previous generation hybrid, and this is a plug-in hybrid, so Honda had to accommodate larger traction battery somewhere. The boot floor can be lowered for slightly more space, or you can use small storage under the floor. However, Honda didn't even bother with proper lining. Instead, there's just felt, which will collect all the debris from the boot. Yuck. Now, there are some shopping bag hooks, a 12-volt outlet and anchor points to secure luggage. With backrests in the second row folded, which you have to do from the passenger compartment side, the cargo area is not entirely flat, but the hump is covered, so long items will slide in easily. With the backrest folded, we have 1710 liters or 1728 including the underfloor storage. The tailgate can be opened and closed with key, gesture or with a button on the lid. The doors cover the sills and they open wide, giving you easy access. The rear seat splits 60-40 and the backrest angle is adjustable. The rear seat is heated, like in the previous gen. There are still air conditioning vents and 2 USB ports. There is still no ski hatch. There are cup holders in the armrest and the door pockets accommodate my 0.7 liter water bottle. The floor is almost flat, so a third passenger will be reasonably comfortable in the middle. The rear seats slide so you can expand cargo storage and still carry passengers in the back. And of course, in the 7-seater, this is how you give third row passengers some legroom. The cockpit has changed for the better. The layout is similar to what we've already seen in the current Civic and the ZR-V. There are virtual instrument clusters which mimic analog gauges, and the central display has been lifted to top of the dashboard. Now, across the entire width of the cockpit runs a grille which masks the air vents. In the middle, below the display, are physical buttons and knobs for air conditioning, and as we all know, knobs are good. Seat heating. Once turned on, it stays on at the same level the next time the vehicle is started, and that's a plus. Lower down are USB ports and a 12-volt outlet, a phone charging cradle, and buttons for the gear selector and drive modes. Further on the center console are cup holders, a small cubby for keys, for example, and storage under the armrest. The glove box is small, but the door pockets are large. I don't want to spend too much time on the infotainment system, it's just bad. Keep interaction to a bare minimum. Now, as some viewers pointed out in comments under my ZR-V review, Honda does actually offer wireless Android Auto, but you have to find it and activate it in the settings. You may also want to set the traction battery schedule, and you will have to look into the vehicle settings more often than you would like. New cars sold in the European Union now come with ESA, the mandatory intelligent speed assistant, a beeper that informs you when the speed limit changes, that's a single beep, or when you exceed the speed limit, that's a triple beep. Some brands have approached this sensibly, I'd say, and ESA can be turned off with a single button, and you still have to do it every time you start the car. But at least it's one button. Others make you click through a multi-level menu every time. In case of Toyota and Honda, you have to do it while stopped. Now, for me that's a deal breaker, but you do you. In Honda, I haven't found a menu item that allows you to simply turn off the audible notification. You can only turn off the traffic sign recognition, and that seems to turn off the beeps. In Europe, Honda no longer sells non-hybrid cars. The eHEV powered CR-V is now joined by the ePHEV version, a plug-in hybrid with a 17.7 kWh traction battery and a promised range of up to 82 kilometers in electric mode only. If you have a powerful enough outlet, charging takes about 2.5 hours. From a regular 230 volt outlet, expect about 8 hours to top up. Unfortunately, batteries don't perform well in the cold, so I was getting 60 rather than 80 kilometers of electric range. Of course, range can be improved by preconditioning the car while it's still connected to electricity, but that's still electricity you have to pay for. The Honda CR-V has several drive modes: normal, eco, sport, snow and towing, and several modes for using the energy in the traction battery: automatic, electric and e-save. In automatic mode, the computer turns on the internal combustion engine when it deems it necessary. In electric mode, the computer prioritizes electric driving up to 135 km per hour. However, if you step harder on the accelerator, the petrol engine will kick in. As far as I know, only Toyota's PHEVs stay in electric mode, pedal to the metal, all the way up to VMAX. Don't ask me how I know. And finally, the e-save mode, in which, to the best of my knowledge, the computer only maintains the battery charge level, but it does not recharge it. So once you deplete the energy in the traction battery, you can only drive in regular hybrid mode until you plug the car in again. Honda is nice enough to provide not just the WLTP fuel consumption result of 0.8 liters per 100 kilometers in PHEV mode, but also when driving in regular hybrid mode, that's 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers combined. Not much more than the front-wheel drive version of the EHEV. This is a realistic figure. The ePHEV comes only with front-wheel drive, so today I won't be performing my diagonal approach test, which the previous generation regular hybrid failed miserably. The regular hybrid has 19 or 20 centimeters of ground clearance, depending on the spec, while the PHEV has less than 16 centimeters. Honda promises that the 184 horsepower CR-V PHEV accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 9.4 seconds, and as it is often the case, Honda under-promises and over-delivers. In the rain, in normal and sport modes, I managed 8.8 seconds. The CR-V PHEV weighs more than 1900 kilograms, but it can also tow trailers weighing up to 1.5 tons. A regular hybrid can still tow only up to 750 kilograms. How is the Honda CR-V ePHEV to drive? Assuming one could turn off all the overzealous assistance systems, the car rides very well, the suspension is comfortable without being too wobbly, the power delivery is adequate, the brakes are good, the steering is precise, shut up! And the visibility is good. By the way, the 6th generation got a real head-up display now, it's on the windshield, not that piece of plexiglass sliding out of the dash. You even get Android Auto sat-nav directions on it, so that's pretty good. The soundproofing is okay as well, especially when you can't hear the engine running. Because of the unique way the Honda hybrid system is designed, the petrol engine mainly acts as a power generator, although it is unable to recharge the big traction battery, only the smaller one. And that's probably why the CR-V ePHEV is so efficient even when the big traction battery is depleted. But Honda, like Toyota, designs driver assistance systems to train the driver rather than to assist. And I'm not talking about driving like a delinquent. For example, the blind spot monitoring system goes off when two cars are driving next to each other on a bend. That's because it probably works independently of the camera, which should detect lines on the road. Speaking of cameras, when you indicate towards the passenger side, Honda CR-V can project the image from the passenger side wing mirror camera on the central display. This way the driver doesn't have to turn their head. In my opinion, that's just teaching the driver bad habits, but you can turn this off. I like that different camera views are linked to buttons on the stocks. Prices of the new Honda CR-V starts at €48,900 for the Elegance spec front-wheel drive hybrid. Add about $2,500 for all-wheel drive. The Advance trim all-wheel drive costs $54,900. It gets things like an upgraded audio system, electric front seats with driver-side memory function, or the HUD I mentioned earlier. This means that the top-spec hybrid is now about 25% more expensive than the 5th-gen model when I reviewed it in early 2020. The plug-in hybrid is available only in the Advance Tech trim, and it costs a whopping €59,900. For this kind of money, I can spec a Tesla Model Y long range with a collar and enhanced autopilot, and it'll still be cheaper than the CR-V PHEV. So, how much do you want a Honda CR-V? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video, as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.